Hello, fourth grade. Last time we had our music video, we talked about a new way to count rhythms. And now, in this new way, when we count rhythms, instead of having just ta, tt, and rest, when we see a ta, we will either count it by saying 1, 2, 3, or 4. Whenever we see a tt, we will count it by either saying 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. So when we have TT, we need to remember the number always comes first and the word and comes second. And then when we have a rest, we still have to count it, but we put it in parentheses to show that we don't say it. So when you see parentheses, you know you say it inside of your head. So we would write parentheses with 1 for rest, or parentheses with 2, 3, 4. So in music class, we have typically done the say way, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. Now we're also adding the count way. So the count way, the same rhythm would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. This should be a review from last time, but I'm going to give you a few seconds to review how we would count this with the count way. With the count way, we would say 1, 2, 3. And then you would just think that 4 inside your head. I don't know why I have that twice. Sorry about that. All right. Think about this one. For the say way, we would say ti, 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 ta. For the count way, we always start with the number first. 1 and, you have to remember that 2 there. 3 and 4. Sometimes when I do this, students will forget to put this 2 here, and so they'll say 1 and, sorry, I'm right, this is hard to do on a computer, 1 and they'll skip this 2, and they'll say 2 and 3. You have to remember that the rest is there. So the say way, we would say ti, 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 ta, 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 ti, ti, ta. So we've added a second measure. Before we were just doing a one measure, now we have a second measure. So when you have a second measure, where this bar line is right here, it resets back to 1. What I mean by that is this would be 1 and, here's our rest, 2 in parentheses. We have a TT, so it would be 3 and. We have a ta, it would be 4. And then we have a bar line here, so we start back over at 1. You don't say 5. Whenever there's a bar line, it's back to 1. So this would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's do the say way. Ready? Here we go. Ta, ti, 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 ta, ta, ta. For the count way, I'm going to talk through it together. The first note is a ta, and since it's first, we would say 1. Then we have a tt. The next number is 2, so it would be 2 and. Then we have a rest, so it would be 3 in parentheses. We don't say it, we think it in our head. The next note is a tt. It would be 4 and. And there's the bar line, so we start over back to 1. 1, 2, 3, and then with 4 in parentheses. So all together without stopping, the count way would sound like this. 1, 2, and, 4 and, 1, 2, 3. All right, for the say way, I'm going to go ahead and get those words up here. Let's do the say way. Ready? Here we go. Ti, ti, ta, ta. All right, let's do the count way. So it starts with a rest, and it would be a 1 in parentheses, meaning we don't say it out loud. Our next note is a rest, so it would be a 2 in parentheses. Our next note is a rest, 3 in parentheses. Then we have TT. Our next number is 4, so it's 4 and. We have our bar line, so we start back over at 1. 1. Here's a rest. Another rest. 4. So all together without stopping, the countway sounds like this. Here I go. 4 and 1. 4. Now I'm going to show you what the countway looks like. Try and figure out what notes you would put there. So I've given you the counts here, and you need to figure out what notes would they be. So now you're basically going to look at the countway and figure out the say way. So for this one, we'll do this one together. We have 1 and. We know that's going to be a TT. 2 is going to be a ta because there's no parentheses around it, so it's not a rest because we say it out loud. 3 and means TT. 4 means ta. The bar line means we start back over. 1 would be a ta. 2 in parentheses means it's a rest because we don't say it out loud. 3 and means TT. 4, ta. So the countway sounds like this. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 3 and 4. And the say way sounds like this. T, T, ta, T, T, ta, ta, T, T, ta. I did write the word rest in here. We wouldn't say rest. I just wanted to show that that was a rest. Here you have the countway. Let's say the countway together. Here we go. 1, 2, and 4, 1 and 4 and. Go ahead, take some time to figure out what you think those notes would be. If you need to pause it and give yourself a few seconds, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and keep going. It starts with 1, and it's not 1 and, so we know it's a ta. 2 and would be a TT. The 3 is in parentheses, so that would be a rest. 4 is not in parentheses, so we have a ta. 1 and is TT. 2 is in parentheses, so it's a rest. 3 is in parentheses. 4 and. So the say way would sound like this. Ta, T, T, ta, T, 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 T. And let's do one more. Go ahead and pause it if you need some time. One and would be a TT. 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, 1, 2, 3. Our say way sounds like this. T, 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 ta, ta, ta. Please complete the assignment on ClassKit called Counting Practice. If you need help, please let me know by emailing me or asking me in Google Classroom. I am going to go ahead and show you what your assignment will look like so I can just kind of show you. So when you get onto ClassKit, oh my goodness, sorry, I should have had this ready to go. All right, your assignment looks like this. Using the countway, figure out how you would count the rhythms. Here's a reminder of what you will write under each note. So this is just to remind you of what you're going to write. If it's a ta, it's going to have either 1, 2, 3, or 4. If it's a TT, 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and then rest will look like this. You have a couple of different ways of how you can do this. You can use your writing tool here, and you can write on it, or another way you can do it is you can type it and put like this. Either way is up to you. It doesn't matter to me. So again, if you have any questions, you can find me on Google Classroom or send me an email, and I would be happy to help. Another way you can ask for help is the little hand tool that you guys know you have on this to raise your hand.